10 News begins with breaking news.
Sirens raced across Pearl Harbor. A sailor on a rampage shot 3 people before turning the gun on himself. Tonight, we have learned 2 of the victims have died. This all happened at the naval shipyard right across from where the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor in 1941. That somber anniversary is just 3 days away. Reporter Richard Cantu has more information on today's tragedy.
Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam in Hawaii put on lockdown Wednesday afternoon following reports of an active shooter. The suspect shot 3 civilian Department of Defense workers.
I can confirm that there were 3 shooting victims. We have confirmed that 2 are deceased. 1 is in stable condition in a local hospital.
The incident occurring at approximately 2:30 p.m. local time.
I can also report the shooter, who has tentatively been identified as an active duty sailor assigned to USS Columbia, is also deceased by an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Honolulu EMS sending multiple ambulances to the scene. The fire department also responding with 6 units that included almost 24 firefighters. Base personnel alerted of the situation by text.
All I really saw was like a bunch of cars, and I heard a bunch of shots going off in the area. And we were told by my chief to hunker down, stay indoors, and just be safe.
The entire base put on lockdown, backing up traffic leading to Hickam Air Force Base and Pearl Harbor Naval Station. The gates eventually reopening. Base security and Naval Investigative Services now investigating the incident. Today's shooting comes just 3 days ahead of the anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor that plunged the United States into World War II. Richard Cantu, ABC News, New York.
As you just heard, the gunman served on the submarine, the USS Columbia. The sub's commander is Tyler Forrest, who graduated from UC San Diego. 10 News viewers have been getting breaking updates about this story on the 10 News mobile app. It's available for download in the App Store. It was a long night for drivers who chose to ignore warning signs on a main road in the Tijuana River Valley. Lifeguards responded to at least 6 rescues in the area, all within a few hours. We have team coverage of today's storm and the headaches it caused for San Diegans. 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo spoke to one woman moments after she was rescued with her children.
And the water has since gone down, but you can see that flooded sign, and the road is still actually closed. The 2 cars still stuck about a half mile away. Lifeguards were busy on Hollister and Monument, repeatedly having to rescue drivers, ignoring signs warning them about the flooded road.
This is our normal way home, so I was like, we can do it, it's fine. And then I tried following the car in front of me. I got stuck on a corner, and that's where I just stayed. Janessa Uribe got stuck with her kids, ages 1 and 10. Uribe says they were in the car for about 25 minutes before crews arrived, pulling them to safety, walking them to their father, waiting for a hug. She was the one freaking out, my poor kid. This rescue, one of 6 Wednesday night. Drivers repeatedly driving into the rising waters, like this pickup truck driving right past our cameras. Seconds later, stalling before making it all the way across. The driver did not want to talk, but did speak to police. Uribe admitting her mistake, hoping others will learn from her. Totally bad judgment on my part. We're used to driving this way. Don't do it during the rain. Not right now. It's getting bad. It's not like it used to be.
Now, police did not cite any of the drivers, but they do want to remind people to not drive through any flooded road because you don't really know just how deep that water can be. Reporting near the border, Laura Acevedo, 10 News.
This wasn't the only weather-related problem around the county today. The rain led to tragedy this morning near downtown. 1 person died in a 6-car pileup on the 5 South near Balboa Park. 3 lanes were blocked for hours. In Hillcrest, a mudslide at the 6th Avenue exit at the 163 South shut down both lanes for hours. In the East County, a car carrying 4 people hydroplaned and flipped onto its roof. It happened along Interstate 8 near Flynn Springs. Fortunately, everybody walked away with no serious injuries. 10 News meteorologist Angelica Campos has the totals from today and more rain on the way this weekend. Angelica?
That's right, Kim. But today's rain was impressive. And even though it's just one day of rain, it was a lot of it. Over an inch in Oceanside and San Diego, even San Marcos and Escondido, almost an inch and a half. But in the mountains, it was more, between 2 and almost 3 inches in Palmer Mountain. As we look at the current conditions, we still have some scattered showers, very light across the county. And as we zoom in, you can see there's a few areas dealing with them, including Bonzo, right along the 15, and also in the South Bay and Coronado, we still have a few spotty showers, becoming drier overnight, and we'll be tracking the next storm system.
Thanks, Angelica. The House of Representatives could vote whether to impeach President Trump by the end of the year. Today, the House Judiciary Committee held its first hearing. 4 law professors testified, speaking about the history of impeachment. The Democratic Congress members said that they're holding President Trump accountable for his actions, while Republicans say they have the facts on their side and Democrats only have hatred of Trump.
If we do not act to hold him in check now, President Trump will almost certainly try again to solicit interference in the election for his personal political gain.
But this is not an impeachment. This is just a simple railroad job. And today's is a waste of time.
The legal scholars clashed on whether President Trump committed impeachable offenses right down party lines. Governor Gavin Newsom is weighing in on what could happen to Duncan Hunter's East County congressional seat should he resign. 10 News asked Governor Newsom about Hunter while he was in San Diego today.
Obviously, the one focal point always is to avoid redundancy, to avoid waste as it relates to costs to the taxpayers and fatigue. Having an election after election, our goal always try to line them up with existing elections to the extent legally possible.
Duncan Hunter's father said that they would meet with the House Minority Leader next week to discuss a potential resignation. Governor Newsom was also in San Diego today to talk about fixing the sewage coming into the U.S. from the Tijuana River. He's asking for federal funding for a major prevention project. Poway's contaminated water crisis may see the city slapped with a fine. The boil water order has been in place for 5 days. It will likely continue until at least Friday. The city says all testing so far shows clean water. They say today's rain will not make the problem worse. And for now, crews have temporarily shored up the gap in its water delivery system that allowed storm water to come in.
There's no more way for water to get in and out. It's a temporary fix, and we are going to work on a long-term solution.
A state agency tells 10 News it may fine Poway for failing to protect its system from stormwater. We reached out to the city about the potential fine. We have not yet heard back.
Balancing accountability and compassion at the same time.
Rethinking the city's approach to ending homelessness. 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena is in Pacific Beach, where police, lawmakers, and other leaders say they are trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Although tonight's meeting did involve a lot of talking, local leaders and law enforcement say they're trying to get away from that and show residents they're committed to actually providing solutions to the homeless issue.
Part of the panel of speakers tonight at this auditorium in Pacific Beach included a man who knows exactly what it's like to be homeless.
Once you end up on the streets, it's very difficult to recover.
John Brady credits support services and joining the Voices of Our City Choir with helping him change his situation. He now uses his experience to help the county figure out how to best serve those still on the streets.
There's an issue with the distribution of services. There's also an issue with the amount of services that we have available.
As for increasing services, there needs to be more funding, which Councilmember Jennifer Campbell says could come from a ballot measure that'll go before voters next March. It would increase the tax on hotels.
We will use that money then to help the homeless as well as to expand the convention center, and 10% of it will go to streets.
She also says there is a renewed focus on prevention programs.
By helping people who are on the cusp of homelessness to make sure that they don't lose their housing.
There's also a new navigation center that just opened for people trying to get back on their feet.
Help with resumes, help with getting their driver's license back, getting to benefits, getting to housing. There's a lot of different types of services that The county and the city are helping to provide to folks that need help.
Police say events like this allow them to get feedback on what's working and what's not.
Balancing accountability and compassion at the same time.
Residents had a lot more questions than there was time to answer tonight. We're told that in future workshops, they will get to all of those questions. We're reporting in PB, Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
Tonight, the University of San Diego hosted a forum for people looking to get into the cybersecurity industry. Right now, there are more than 8,000 cybersecurity jobs open in San Diego. Tonight's forum included 2 special guests who are leaders in the industry right here, and it also offered advice on how to successfully break into the fast-growing field.